We wake up with mimosas, we have wine with lunch, and we end the night with you. It's the Real Housewives of Dallas, Season 1, Episode 4, Mouth of the South, starting right now.
You're tuning into the destination for
that.
TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
We're all losing control after this episode. My God, I can't believe the notes, some of the weird notes I have.
From Leanne.
If someone
What an
read,
intro.
I just want someone to read these notes and they'll be like, what is this? This is a hot mess. Well, if you want to talk about the hot mess with us, you're in the right place. I'm your host, Grant Rutter, and I'm ready to get in. It's good to be back.
I know, welcome back.
Thank you. And
Everybody missed you. We all missed you last week.
Thank you. And we'll give a shout out to Thomas, who will be here next week.
Yes, he will. He better be.
So who's sitting next to me tonight to talk about crazy Leanne and company?
Yes, you kick it off.
I'm DJ Richie Skye. You can stalk me on Instagram and Twitter at DJ Richie Skye and on the Snap at Richie Skye.
And I am Blake V, and you can stalk me too on Twitter and Instagram at Blake V Media.
I'm loving this song. I love some classic Sierra, so I'm into it. But let's talk about tonight's episode and just all the little things that happened. I have so many little notes, but at the top of the show, not everyone. Stephanie and Brandi, the dynamic duo, are planning to go to, what is it? Where are they going? Oklahoma. Coweta, Oklahoma. And, or wherever. Yeah. And so they're getting ready to go. Brian, Brandi's husband, doesn't like any of the pets. The kids try to get attention from the father by using the pets as pawns. It's all kind of sad and negative at the top to me.
Yeah, the husband always seems so annoyed and like not.
He's a downer. Every time he comes on the screen, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I am. Sorry.
He is no, it's so true. That's perfect explanation.
Yeah.
He's a downer.
I don't mean to be like mean, but I feel like the money must be really good because I don't think he's that good looking. I just don't think. I don't think he's like the total package. You know, sometimes these husbands you can be like.
He comes into the scene like a caveman and just kind of like, ugh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's it. Seriously.
So true.
And I feel bad for Brandi in a way. I'm not the biggest Brandi fan on this panel, but I do feel like she has a lot of life in her, and she wants to have a good time, and she wants to keep it light. And to have that dark cloud kind of running around just can't be too fun. Mm-mm. I mean, I don't like that in my life. I wouldn't be okay with it.
No, and she's doing a good job at staying peppy.
Yeah. Well,
living with that.
I feel like she has to though, like, you know, for the kids and
they're so
it's
young.
like she acts out in her personal life, you know, with the other ladies, so because she can't really get the attention that she needs at home.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like
That's true.
Yeah. See, I'm not a big believer in like opposites attract. Like you need one big personality, needs someone else to keep them grounded. Like I think you just need to be on the same wavelength to have a good, like to have fun and to be able to complement each other.
But you know, she did say that they used to party like together,
Yeah.
and then somewhere along the way, he maybe just turned into a different person.
That happens all the time. People do change.
Yep.
They say leopards can't change their spots, but yeah, people do kind of turn into different folks than how you started out.
Well,
you know, especially if you're young, forget it. If you
Right.
marry young, forget it.
And they've been together
every
since
10 years.
And they've been together since high school, I think they said. So,
Oh, wow, yeah.
you know, I mean, you get older, marriage changes things, kids change things, animals change things.
Yeah. What?
Money probably changes things. Everything changes.
What's that saying?
Traveling changes things.
Yeah.
What's that saying? Like every 7 years you progress.
Richie's had a moment or two.
I'm just saying. I mean, you're traveling all the time. I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to maintain a successful marriage when you're not there.
Yeah, you can't do the work. And they say something about every 7 years you're like different than you were previous. Like I think back to like the 7-year increments of my life, and yeah, I'm a completely different person.
Oh,
Yeah.
So yeah, who knows? But he's not into the pets. Meanwhile, Leanne is starting the day with Charity, and she's going to this opulent condo. It looks like
Very
I
opulent.
love Leanne's life. I do. I'm so riveted by it.
yes, she is all done up. She was all blown out.
She looked amazing.
Yeah, she did.
She looked beautiful. That's the first thing I thought as she came into this very opulent abode, and like everything was good. The makeup was good. The lighting was good. Like it was just a very good
She was
look.
dressed to impress.
Yes,
I feel
she
like there was
was.
like a high volume of intensity though coming into that place. You know, like,
Because she was on a mission.
She was there on business.
She was on a mission.
She
Yes.
is a fabulous saleswoman.
She
Yes.
is.
Isn't she?
She is.
She gets right to the point. She sucks you in. She's convincing. She's commanding.
Well,
She's
we
great.
we met the queen of the charity world tonight, Heidi Dillon, but I was more impressed with her dog. Could you pick out the
Yes.
dog in the apartment?
I knew it blended in with the couch.
It did.
Couldn't even find it.
It did. I didn't even notice that it was there until
know.
Leanne started talking to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we learn about the upcoming event, the Pause for a Cause for a rescue group in the animal world. And then they're talking about this other charity, Positivity. Not positive, it's Positivity. So I
Yeah.
want to make sure that's correct. And it's a group project. It's a group of women that are HIV positive, and she sold Heidi on being the honorary chair for this event. And I was hoping that she was going to take Leanne's offer, because I was like, you can't not accept this on camera. Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna look terrible if you say
Well,
no
and-
to this group of women.
And it certainly
yeah.
sounds like an amazing cause for sure.
It does.
So
I was just kind of like, she's got to say yes. 'Cause
Yeah.
You look really almost cheap if you say no.
Yeah.
On
and,
camera.
and an awful human.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Cheap
Yes.
and awful.
So let's talk about the 4-hour car ride that looks like a nightmare on ice. I would hate
Let
to
me
do
tell
it.
you something. I do not envy them. I don't think I could have done it. It would have had to been some nannies.
Yeah.
Well, and that's a long ride, even for non-children. Like I can't
is.
be in the I can't be in the car longer than an hour at a time. I have problems.
2 hours is my max, and then I'm getting like really antsy and irritable and
Yeah.
nasty.
Can't take it. And just imagine like you're small and you're in a chair, car seat.
And then they were shattering and crying nonstop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, this is
You're locked
torture.
in this prison on wheels.
Yeah, I can't do
Isn't
it.
good.
Oof, that is just not
I
for
liked
me.
Brandi's commentary though, and she's saying like, you see the commercials of like minivans and families, and it's like great, and everyone's happy. And
not
she's
really like
she's
that.
like, they need to put up the sign that says, just don't go, just don't take the trip.
Don't bother.
Ugh. Stressful.
So Stephanie visited her parents and her family. We learned how important they are to her. We saw a bunch of her family, and we learned that there's no Uber in Oklahoma.
Yeah, but we learned there's something even more fabulous, I think.
AAA. And that will tow your car with you in it.
Wow.
With you in it.
That's an
am-
expensive trip, though. I mean, I can get home in under $7.
I don't know.
Just don't drink.
Maybe
Yeah.
the AAA rates in Coweta are different
I would hope.
than what we
Yeah.
have here.
But she made it seem like
Yeah,
it
they
was so
probably soak
obvious.
you in
Well,
LA.
duh, AAA.
And that's actually not true, because when you have AAA, you can pay for the premium membership, as I do,
Mm-hmm.
and you get like 100 miles free. So as long as you're in your little town, so like you don't pay for the mileage that you're
That's
towed.
right. I have AAA.
Yeah,
Oh.
you've never used it. I clearly have. So you pay just
Was it on a
annually.
drunken night?
No comment.
I use it to get into Universal Studios for $3
Oh,
off.
that's great. Well, see, be thankful that you've never had to use it. I clearly have had to use it for many, many miles. But yeah, you pay annually, and then you get to go up to 100 miles for free. So as long as you're in your little town, AAA. Now you know if you can't get Uber, if your phone died, if your credit card's not hooked up right, AAA.
There
There
you
you
go.
go. Interesting. My poor car is just so uninsured, and it's like, I mean, it's insured, but it's totaled, so I don't even know if they would bother.
Oh.
But that's another story for another day, kids. Brandi feels a little awkward at this dinner. She'd rather sit at the kids' table. She's kind of reflecting on her own
I mean, I
life.
sometimes feel like that too.
I do too.
With other
I
families.
get it. Yeah.
Somebody else's family is always just like, oh God, I gotta do this.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
'cause it's
you
not
want
your
to be there,
family.
but it's like I don't know you.
Yeah, exactly.
We're like, where's the kids' table?
It's
I
true.
agreed. I would, yeah. I feel her.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy Stephanie's family because they felt very like home to me. Like that's how
Yeah.
I grew up. So it was very much similar. I got that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
I
was nice to
agree.
see like a wholesome family come together for
Yeah.
once on these shows.
Certainly, I know that's true, and I like that she's bringing her kids back to that environment
Yeah.
because her home and her house is very different, and these children's father is very different than what her father seemed like.
Yeah.
you know, and so bringing them back is great. And it was funny to see how Stephanie really looks like she was kind of plucked out of her family. She sort of like looks different. She speaks different. Everyone still has a thick accent.
Yeah.
She's very you couldn't tell where she's from
Yeah.
just talking.
It's true.
you
yeah.
know? So that's interesting too, kind of seeing the the
it
divide.
just struck me this episode that Stephanie's actually really, she's really pretty.
She's very pretty.
Really, really, really pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. She
It's
stood
a
out
shame
to me
that
a little
she's
more.
so kind of like insecure,
Mm-hmm.
almost.
Well, yeah, and to that point, she says that she feels her parents feel as though she doesn't deserve some of the stuff she has in her life because she
Yeah,
hasn't
when she said
necessarily
that,
earned it.
I felt so bad for her.
Yeah.
I thought, like, why would you say that about yourself? Like, that's...
Yeah.
She must
Well,
think
just-
about it often to be able to
Right.
feel so open to saying that
Yeah.
on camera. She must really feel like they must just think like, hey, she just got lucky, as opposed to like, wow, you really built a good life for yourself.
Yeah, well,
But
there is a level and amount of luck. I mean, she is very lucky to have that be her life.
But I think seeing all of that and hearing her say that gives a lot of context as to why she reacts to certain situations on the show the way she does.
Yeah.
You know, almost kind of like cowering, like she doesn't want to rock the boat with anybody.
That's true.
Obviously,
and
from
it's
her childhood.
completely. And it's interesting too, like in a family dynamic, if you have like one family member that's rich, or like the rich aunt and uncle or something, but that doesn't necessarily reflect on the rest of the family. So that's probably an interesting feeling too, you know, knowing that you probably could take care of everyone in your family, but you don't or can't for whatever reason. And it's sort of like, okay, I'm here. I'm the rich sister, you
Yeah.
know?
If she does
The
a
rich
chores, she
one.
probably can.
Right.
Oh,
That's
Lord.
right.
Yes.
Did you get the list done, Stephanie? That's what matters.
Let's talk about the pause cause event. We learned of Leanne's Pomeranian. That was I kept hearing that we were going to learn more about why Leanne was so passionate about charity. So I thought this was going to be like the beginning of like her motivation, but we learned more about her coming from the background of the carnival, and then we learned of this dog. But I still feel there has to be more as to why she's so involved. I'm waiting to hear more.
Yeah.
Maybe there isn't any more.
I still think it's because she grew up as a carny kid and she wanted to make a name for herself, and she found a way to do that. That's what I think.
In your discussion last week, I was listening, and we were talking about why she's so angry towards the women, and her motivation for just being so like all over the place. And I really thought about it. I said, I think for her, and this kind of is to your point, is that she, I think, is a little jealous that these other women can do and say whatever they want, but she has to do the work to stay relevant and to stay in this scene.
Yeah.
So it's like everyone else can show out, walk around, and be disrespectful to the older women or wear stupid hats, but she has to be the one that's business-minded and in control in order just to stay like on the on the list. You know, where the others, they just have the money, they're going to invite them anyway because they can write a check.
Yes, and they feel that way amongst one another too. And Leanne's definitely on the outside of that, and that makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense. That's a good point, because I mean, just imagine, like, you know, you're someone that works really hard. You've got a couple jobs, or you never sleep, or whatever, and you're really working hard for your career or your money. Meanwhile, you have some friend that just was born
Yeah.
into a rich
Floats
family,
through
or just
life.
lucked out.
Yep.
Everything's lovely for them, and they never have to work really hard. I mean, I'm definitely sensitive to those comments too.
Yeah,
I
I
get
am
irritated
too.
too.
Yeah.
You know, so
Right.
on that level, I can understand where Leanne's
Yeah.
coming from
That
more now that
definitely
you.
adds another contextual layer to all that.
Yes.
Yeah, because I mean, even for me, like I get irritated when I see people that just kind of float through life, and all the waves, they just kind of seem to just pass. They have no idea that they even exist. They have no idea that certain strife even exists, and it's like, oh, I'm just hanging out.
Yeah.
And it's like, good for you.
Yeah,
I
you're like, that's great. That's great.
Yeah, that's great. You're just because to be born under the right vibes,
Yeah.
the right sun. Maybe Mercury was in retrograde. I don't know.
Something was working for you.
Yeah, well, I can't wait for this Mercury to get out of retrograde. That's the problem. But anyway, so at this event, Marie is there, Leanne and
I
Tiffany.
love Marie.
I like her too.
I just want to say that I love Marie. I want to see more of her.
Same.
We actually got to see her in confessionals tonight. I was just so
Yeah.
excited. I was like, oh, new cast member.
She seems like
Gonna see more.
she seems like a good, like in the middle, like, you know, of the
Yeah.
the feud.
Yeah.
And she just seems to be classy in her own right. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
she doesn't seem like she has too much to prove.
Yeah,
So I like that.
that is good. I know.
Although we may need her to amp up the drama so that she's there next season.
Yeah.
A few of them need to amp up the.
Yeah.
All of them. All of them
All of them.
need to amp up the drama.
Carrie, I'd like to see Carrie do something. But before we get to her,
But I like her too,
Who, Carrie?
Carrie.
I do.
Even though she hasn't shown us a lot yet, which I'm hoping more will come this season, I do like her. I'm
I
Team
don't
Carrie.
dislike her, but for the show, I'm like, what do you got for
Yeah,
us?
I think she's real quick. And I think
She
she
is.
makes really really appropriate sort of analysis of the ladies and is sort
Yeah.
of like just quick in her interactions with them and in the sort of confessional.
Yeah.
I like her perspective. And I think she's fun. She went to the yoga. Yoga's
Oh my
her
God.
church.
Like,
Yeah.
She's
really
like a freaking
flexible.
pretzel. That was amazing.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you doing?
I know. I've done yoga for a while. And I couldn't even begin to
No
touch one
way,
of those
you
things.
And me both. Like I go
Forget
often
it. Yeah.
and like
It's an
Yeah.
acrobatic.
she was like another
Yeah.
level.
She enjoyed showing off too.
She was like
Oh, I
Cirque
think
du
she
Soleil
was. So she was
status.
just kind of like, let me do this, let me do that, and nobody else is doing anything.
No,
And
nothing.
I'm like, girl,
That was just the warm up. Like the class
Yeah.
hadn't even started.
I won't do that hot yoga though. I won't.
That's not for you.
No, I don't
It's
think
for
it's
me.
very healthy for you. I don't know, is
Really?
it?
Oh, I think it's great because
Really?
in the
like
heated
when you're about to
room,
pass out.
yes, when you're near death is when you get optimal health benefits. No, I
don't
think
know.
it's
I
good
take it
because
easy.
it like warms up your joints and loosens your joints. So I feel like you can hit the moves you never would be able to.
Yes,
In
when
a
you're
standard
drenched in
scenario.
sweat and gasping for breath.
When I have sweat and yoga though, I just feel like I just give myself a pass because I'm like, oh, you're perspiring. Like, just
You've done
just take
enough.
this easy. Like, you know,
You're
so-
done.
Yeah, I'd rather do it a little on the cold side, even though you're not supposed to. But anyway, Tiffany says that she's sweet. She sees the sweet side of Brandi, but Leanne is quick to say that she's fake and that she already tried once and she's not trying with her again. So when did Leanne try with Brandi? Was it at that brunch? Was that her trying? Brandi wasn't at that brunch. It was Stephanie and Cary.
Her trying. The only thing I can think is that it seems like in the interactions together between like Leanne and Brandi, maybe Brandi will make the first like move to attack Leanne. And so in Leanne's mind, she thinks that's her trying, like because she's not the proactive one initially. That's all I can think, right? Because has there been a definitive moment where she tried? I don't think so.
I feel like it was maybe she's thinking she's tried when they had that conversation at Marie's.
Yeah, the
And they were
couch.
sitting down. Mm-hmm. Maybe she initially tried then and it didn't go so well. And that was her like, I'm not doing that again.
Okay. So
Maybe.
yeah. So
That's
her
the only thing I can think of.
me too. Me too. Think. Right?
Yeah, I think that was the only other time that I can remember in the last 4 episodes. Yeah.
Yeah.
After yoga, Tiffany and Cary sat down, and Tiffany says that Leanne puts on a front, and she tried to kind of defend Leanne in her own way. And I thought Tiffany definitely tried this week to be a friend and try. I didn't think she was like throwing like her friend under the bus or really saying anything other than just being honest. What do you think?
I totally agree. I think so because she
Which isn't easy when you've got everyone coming at you with negative comments to
Yeah.
try to be in the middle. It isn't
and
easy.
for her wanting to try to be friends with those ladies bringing negative comments because she really strikes me as like a loyal friend and I don't think
Yeah.
she's really trying to hurt Leanne in any way, but she wants to branch out. She wants to be friends with these ladies, and we saw a little tender moment between her and Brandi where she kind of said like, hey, I just want you to know
That
there's all-"
wasn't. Listen, do you think that Brandi received that?
No.
Because she was like.
I don't think Brandi received it, but I do think Tiffany was legit.
I think she.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely
think
think
she-
she was legit.
yeah.
But I do think maybe it was a little too much. Like, I need to like make this happen like with you because you're
Right.
the source of the other lady. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
I-
it was a
Before
little
we
too
get
much.
there,
I think
yeah.
that just also shows too Tiffany's like want, like she really wants to get out of Leanne's shadow. So she is so much to the point where she's like, Brandi, I don't think this
Yeah.
of you. Don't attach me to Leanne. We're cool. Like,
Yes.
hug. You know?
And she was up Carrie's ass last week with the same thing.
Right. and
but-
even this week too, like with the yoga, and
Yeah.
she's definitely trying to branch out and make friends with the other ladies. I
Yeah.
can appreciate that though.
Is
I
she
can
trying
appreciate
too
it.
hard or is she trying the right way?
I'm personally
She's right in the line, in my opinion.
I think she's
Kind of
okay.
too hard.
I don't think she's trying too hard. I think that Leanne is a very large casting shadow for her to get out under. She's attached herself to Leanne through years and years of like charity and reputation and everything.
Yeah.
And so for this show, I think she just has to try extra hard
Yeah.
to get through to these ladies who already have such a problem with Leanne.
Yeah.
I think she's kind of up Carrie's butt, to be honest with you. Like, I think she's really trying with the video last week
Yeah.
and just really trying to stay
So
in her
you don't
orbit.
think it's genuine?
No, I think it's a fine line. Like, I think I mean, I have to keep watching, but I feel like
Yeah.
if she pushed it a little bit more extreme, I'd be like, okay, relax, like just build this friendship organically. But
Yeah, you'll be my LA girlfriend in Dallas.
yeah.
It was just like, okay, back up.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, like I wouldn't say that. I'd be like, oh, you're my East Coast buddy.
Yeah, like what?
Yeah.
No, you don't have to say that.
Yeah.
We're here, so we're obviously
We're
probably
friends
going to develop
already.
the
Yeah,
relationship. You know what I mean?
we're good.
I'd be
We're
fine
already
with
good.
it.
that.
If she
Yeah.
said that to me, I'd be like, cool. I'd be fine with it.
I don't know, I'm only talking about what we're given. I guess maybe they're just showing her just going after these women, and we're not really seeing other sides of her. But
right.
who knows? Everywhere, then we learn that everywhere Tiffany goes, everyone knows Leanne. She can't get away from Leanne. And then Cary says, "That's nice that she does so much work, but she doesn't have old money." That's basically what she said in that comment.
And I think she said that last week too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she said it too. Leanne.
Yes, exactly. You're right. In the
She did.
lunch, she did. So this is the second time now she's
Yeah.
sticking it in there again.
I'm so glad you do so much work, but you don't have any money. I'm like, oh, wow.
yeah.
So that's all she's got, I guess. What else can we say?
Well, like I guess that actually brings up a good point quickly too, is
Yeah.
the fact that Leanne is truly working very hard, devoting her life to all these causes, and really trying to get to that level of Cary calls it socialite, like she's trying to be a socialite, but then Cary seems to definitely be a person to identify that with old money. And I think that's the divide, is that some people totally accept Leanne for what she is and her work and everything, and they identify with it and accept it. And then there's another half of the people, I think, that are like, oh, well, no matter how much you work, you're never going to get to that level of like old money socialite. So that's an issue. I think Cary definitely is on the other side of the fence there.
I
But
see
what
what you're
makes
saying.
a socialite? That's the question
Exactly.
now. What really
Yeah.
does make a socialite? Because in my eyes, I would still consider her a socialite.
Yeah. I would
Because
too.
she's making
Leanne,
things happen.
yeah.
You know what I mean? She's
Yeah.
doing the work. I feel like that.
I completely agree with you there.
Well, let's talk about Brandi calling her grandfather and planning to bring him to Dallas.
Yeah.
What did you think of that moment?
Well, it's definitely one of the most heartfelt moments. I mean, no one else
I didn't
is
have
sort
really many
of.
notes. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm like, it's good. We have to see the interaction, we have to see him come over. Like, it's tough to judge based on a
Yeah.
phone call. Like,
Yeah,
we're
I think
aware of
that's
their
where I'm with it.
estrangement and,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and all that. So.
And here's the thing for me, the rest of the like we're dealing with charity stories and like poop issues, you know, and then it comes to Brandi, and like Brandi's issues are like very like serious and heartfelt and like deep seated family, you know. So for me, that kind of juxtaposition of both is kind of strange to take.
Yeah,
it's like way heavy on one side and then way light on the other.
Yeah.
You basically spoke my mind.
Yeah,
Yes.
great.
That's like
Same
a testament
page.
to this show, though. It's a
Yeah.
little scattered. It's like,
Yeah.
well, is this like a because I think this is like a comedy show half the time, more than half the time. And we'll get into all the comedy at Marie's Cocktail Hour. But I'm like,
Tonight's episode was rich.
yeah, but it's like, you know, is it just going to be like all fluff and nonsense, and then then we're gonna have these like, you know, storylines from the past. So who knows? I mean, I like that it's well rounded, but it's not that well rounded. It's just jumps to me. It just jumps.
Yeah,
and
it's
there's
sort
really
of
no
like
rhyme or reason for half the
extremes.
stuff. Yeah. So anyway, let's talk about Marie's Cocktail Hour, and it was opened up by Leanne saying, "Here in Dallas, we girls switch off." Now, I plan events a lot, I guess, and have fun. Like I don't need to be in Dallas to do that. I mean,
True. He
don't we-
does. I've been to Grant's events.
Yeah, don't we all kind of like just switch? Is it that just a Dallas thing? Maybe I'm in the wrong city. Maybe I'm
No, I
just in
think
the
it's
wrong place.
Life thing, I think.
But I just love that. I love it. Like she opens up a lot of things with that. Like in Dallas we do this. In Dallas we don't do that. Now in Dallas we only do this. I'm like, all right. It's like.
But I think that's why I like Leanne, because everything that's associated with her is an event. Like it's a
It's fabulous.
spectacular.
The
like,
event of the season.
You know what I mean? I mean, I feel like at least with her in this particular franchise, she brings that element.
She does.
Yeah, I can't believe
does.
she's still talking about Mad Hatters, and I was laughing about.
I feel
this,
like it happened 10 years ago.
Yeah, that was so ridiculous. And at that Cause event, there was a guy who looked like he came off the bus coming from the Mad Hatters event, all in pink with the big,
Oh, right.
big top hat.
Like the ringleader.
Yeah, I'm like, you're a little
Wait, was he
late.
the
You're a
owner
little
of the
late.
shop though?
I think so.
I was like, what?
Maybe.
Barbie pink.
Or
and
maybe
he-
the-
I mean, I don't know.
The sponsor of the event, like the main guy that put it together, maybe?
I was clueless.
Yeah, I don't know. All I remember is he had bad teeth. Sorry. Just that- I mean, that's the only
Sorry,
I
not
remember.
sorry.
But there's somebody else who's a little instigator at this cocktail hour, but we'll get to that in a moment. Stephanie says that she's not nervous at all. and about all the drama that
Yeah,
she's gonna
right.
face. And I'm like thinking, I'm like, what is all the drama? Like, what is all like? They had, literally this consisted of mimicking so far. The mimicking happened. They talked about it on a couch the minute after it happened. Then there was the hat, and then they had to have a brunch, which only 2 women showed up to, and that was it.
Yeah.
So
But
like, what's all the
Maybe
drama?
I think for her in her Stephanie world, that is probably the most drama that she's actually had
Yeah.
with another group
Probably.
of women. You know, because
100%.
obviously she's a mom, so
Yeah.
there's that sort of thing
Yeah.
to deal with, you know, because you're in mom mode and husband, you got family. But I don't think she's had to deal with women acting like that.
Yeah.
Agreed. And she's like super concerned about her reputation.
Yeah.
And she's real scared
Yeah.
that Leanne's gonna like really do some damage against her.
Well, she's not nervous, but Brandi claims that she is nervous. Well, are we surprised? Tiffany tells Brandi that she's a real person. We talked about this, Blake. You mentioned this. She pulled her over to just to let her know she's a real person and that she's just not associated with Leanne's opinions and her thoughts. So we can move on from that with Leanne saying, in Dallas, it's hard to find friends. Again,
First off, it's two
makes-
things. Two things though. I love that Brandi said that Tiffany was on her like a 50% off sale at JCPenney. I was like, oh my God, that was the burn of the century right there. Like, and she didn't even deserve it. Like,
Yeah.
it was so bad.
She didn't do anything.
And she
mean.
really didn't deserve it.
No.
But
Yeah.
then I love that Leanne now all of a sudden has a new friend. Like,
Yeah.
that was her constant sidekick at this party.
Oh,
Erica.
I
Yeah.
could not take that. Grant saw me just like, Leanne is all of these things. She's talking herself up so much. She's great and fabulous and
Yeah.
lovely.
Erica's just like, yep.
Doesn't,
Oh, yeah,
doesn't
you're
have
right.
A, doesn't
Oh,
have a
yeah.
malicious bone. And she's off in the corner just like shit talking with this girl. And she's just, you know?
But they all are. To be fair,
They are. But just the visual of just like them in the corner. I'm like, come on, Leanne, come on. You know?
I loved it.
Yep, I know. I kind of like that too. And they just observe, like, we're not stupid over here. They're like, their arms crossed.
We're just not stupid enough.
Yeah, yeah. Someone that was stupid was this Botox queen named Taylor, who was there, who was
No, that was
very,
actually the burn of the century right there.
very rude. This boy, though, very rude to be in an event
Very
with all
rude.
women and to go and making all these comments. He doesn't want to sweat, so he has to get Botox, which is not good for you. They say you're supposed to sweat, so don't be doing that.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, not a good thing.
And I didn't understand his whole little gossip game either. Like, he's friends with these ladies, so he's going to go talk about every single one of them behind their backs? I didn't understand that.
He
Well,
was
Marie
thirsty.
said he was a gossip.
Yep, he was thirsty for the cameras.
So
he saw the
true.
cameras and he was like, "Which housewife are they on? I'll just talk to you about the opposite."
Yeah, they moved to another housewife.
Yeah.
He's going over to gossip.
So he says that Leanne is a bully and needs a therapist. And then both Stephanie and Brandi were kind of on good behavior. They were like, "Oh, you're funny." Like they didn't get in too deep with him.
Yeah.
They kind of let him do all the work. And then
Which was smart. That was good.
Yeah. And then we learned that Leanne was wasted one night allegedly, and she may have just pooped her pants. I mean, this is like the stupidest show of my life. Like, I literally can't talk about this show. Like, how am I supposed to make notes about this?
We thought we escaped from the poop, and now we're back to the freaking poop.
Oh, we are.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah,
we are,
and
Richie.
then
We
they
couldn't.
had
I
to
blame Marie
figure-
for that because Marie told him that story. Allegedly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. He said that.
Well, then Brandi had to
Allegedly,
run
yes.
over and ask Tiffany if she was there when Leanne released.
Now,
know,
I
this-
do at this moment
whole
feel like
ending.
that was when Tiffany was really being a good friend. Like, she said, you can talk all this stuff about Leanne, but, you know, she's my friend.
She did. She did say
I
that.
did
Yeah.
appreciate that moment.
Yep. Then Leanne said, they're probably just saying I'm a bitch. And they cut to Brandi going, she's a bitch. I'm like, this is the show that we're watching. Tiffany brings Leanne. And then Tiffany escorts Leanne into this mess. And Brandi apologizes that her manners aren't up to par. Of course, it just goes crazy from there.
Can I just say something, though?
Yes.
Like, you know, the housewife that says that they're going to patch things up, they got to know this is not going to work. Like,
It never does.
It never
does.
works. It never goes according to plan.
Nope. Brandi says that oh God, what is this? Brandi says, Brandi says, I heard you were shit talking me at brunch. Then they go into the history of the mimicking and all that, and Brandi says that she makes up lies about her, all the stuff.
Well, and also
It escalates.
Leanne, yes, and Leanne was making some point at the brunch previously, something about respect your elders. So
Oh,
it
yeah.
seemed to me like Leanne was saying, respect your elders, like she's that Leanne is Brandi's elder or something. So Brandi sort of called her out on it and said like, "Oh, are you my elder? Like, should I address you as such?" And she was like, I'm not that. But like, she sort of said that. She sort of implied that at the brunch. So that was another key point.
Yeah. And then a glass was emptied and then smashed on the floor with a nice sound effect. You know, some guy in post-production was looking those up at 4 a.m. She could have threw a whole carafe of
There
wine.
was someone that said, "Oh my God, wine got on my dress." I think it was Cary.
Well, I didn't understand what happened. Okay, first of all,
Cary didn't do anything the whole time.
Yeah, like why did she throw it? Number one. Number two, why did she throw it on people?
I love that she called Stephanie over and said, "I know you want to be a part of this." I loved it.
Yeah, she was afraid up in her face.
And then poor Stephanie was just like
traumatized. I love a throwing of a glass. I've said on AfterBuzz, if I was on a reality show, I absolutely would throw one. So I think it's great. I mean, I think it was just fun.
If I were Cary or whoever was on that left edge that got the spill, I'd be furious, and that'd be a new point of drama.
Yeah. They're looking for anything they can. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So she says, what the hell is this? Oh, your charity world is gonna go down the toilet. More bathroom humor on the Real Housewives of Dallas. It just brings it all full circle, doesn't it?
It does.
So that's how it ends, but it's gonna get crazy next week. Do we have any news and gossip before we go there?
I have nothing too biting.
I don't have anything as of yet.
Yeah.
It's still pretty slow right now. I looked at an article about the ratings.
Yes.
The ratings have just kind of like changed, but they're not going up. A couple people on Twitter have like posted like things like, "Oh, is it gonna get canceled?" and all this. I don't know. I think unless if the show just severely poorly, I think that they'll probably try to do it second season at least.
I think it's gonna pick up too.
Yeah, I think sometimes a lot of these shows need a moment to like kind of get going. I think now we're kind of just used to every show making a splash, that it's kind of different to watch one that's more subtle and build.
Yeah.
So hopefully this one continues to build.
Yeah, I hope so. We'll see how the ratings are for this week's episode. But yeah, it's gelling a little bit for me. Like it's looking more like Housewives in my opinion, but it's not quite there just yet.
Isn't it funny? The whole first couple episodes have been really slow, and that's been the majority of our comments. And then this week we finally see like what's gonna happen in next week's, and we're so excited. We're like, it's finally Housewives.
Yeah.
Right.
The drama.
Yeah.
It finally
used to
feels
that.
like that.
Yeah.
Right. So let's take a moment and predict what's coming up.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Well, I'm awfully excied for this fight with Tiffany and
Yes.
Leanne.
Oh God, I think we all are.
I've been just itching to see this all season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it looks really gnarly. Like Leanne's gone crazy. She is just so upset. Tiffany's like trying her best to be like, stop it, I'm telling you good things, like quit being crazy. And Leanne just can't take it and like goes after a cameraman.
Yeah, Leanne's just like got that fight high.
Yeah.
She's just got that high, like
Yeah.
she's just railing, like ready to just knock somebody in the street. I was surprised that I wanted to see someone push someone towards the street because that'd be more dramatic, you know?
Right.
A little more over the top.
I don't think we've seen anyone attack a cameraman on any of these shows.
No.
So I'm excited about that. That'll be
Yeah.
first.
And it's so funny
I
because
believe it. I believe Leanne is that like pushed to the limit.
yeah.
Clearly.
I think so too. I wouldn't put it past her. And she's just always so positive and like self-affirming and just I'm so good, I'm so this, I'm so that. And she was the first one to like really lose it
Lose
all.
it.
Yeah.
Completely lose it.
Yeah, well, the girls are gonna hold that against her forever and ever and ever. But what else is new?
I know. I'm excited to see what Tiffany's opinion of the whole matter will be. Seeing, firsthand her be like that and be mean to her and push her and do all this, and all she's trying to do is salvage the situation and comfort Leanne.
Yeah.
Right.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
We're ready.
Yes, next week looks good, so you'll have to join us here at AfterBuzz for our recap. In the meantime, where can we find you guys on social media?
You can stalk me at DJ Richie Skye on Instagram and Twitter, and the Snap at Richie Skye.
And I am Blake V. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Blake V Media.
And you guys can find me on all social media platforms at Grants__rants. And you can find my podcast, Grants Rants Hollywood Talk, on iTunes, Google Play, and all that stuff. And some new shows are finally coming. Just bear with me, guys. So that'll be coming up. You can always find more content on YouTube for The Real Housewives of Dallas. That'll do it for us.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.